Hi YouTube, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. I just have a really odd ringing in my ears right now. Sometimes I do, but this is different. It's not like the high-pitched one I hear a lot. Hmm, how odd. Huh. Reminds me of being on an airplane, like sometimes your ears will pop when you go up in altitude, or down. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that feeling. It's odd, it just happened. I just turned this on. Maybe this is doing it to me. I don't know. Um, I was thinking about how people that are liars, this may not just be my topic, but I've been thinking about liars and their body language, like with movements of their feet and their hands. And of course, we know like facial expressions, but there's like touching the throat and other nervous actions people will do. Um, if it isn't their habit to be kind of like maybe some people have like hypertension or something like that, that's actually a physical thing, or they work out a lot and they're full of adrenaline, or there's different reasons, but um liars have indicators like shifty eyes. They do. Or they'll do the stare down thing. They'll look right at you and lie at you and not even blink. you know I was listening to now this is I was listening to somebody I know has an ulterior motive, like there's a underlying reason why they do what they do on their channel. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what that reason is. There's some kind of something with anybody doing anything, you know, out here. It's either for money or, but this in particular, it's different. There's something there. I'm not sure that it's a dishonesty, but there's something to it that the whole truth isn't being said in the situation. I just know it. It's feelings. Like you actually just know things ahead of time. And then when I know somebody's keeping something from me or being dishonest about something, I wait. Like the strategist I am. I'm not going to just jump right in and say, this is what I think you're doing, or this is why I think you're doing it. I'll give the person an opportunity to say what they're doing. This channel in particular, the dude started like yelling at people when he was teaching them, you know. Um yeah, you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't even have to say a word to make things in a room full of people go the way you want it to go. You can either enlighten or disrupt a whole group of people just by using your mind. I know because I've done it, you know. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, you know. But I surely don't be like being yelled at. To me, being yelled at has two outcomes. One, I'm too little to defend myself and don't want to hurt anybody. Or two, you're not in front of me and you wouldn't be doing that in front of me. That's the only two options there are in my life with somebody and their big mouth. You want me to yell at you? Come here, let's have it out. I've been yelled at by louder people. I mean, that's no problem. It's just like when I was trying to tell a pig to clean up their mess. I mean, over talking me isn't going to make you less of a pig, you know? It's like people yelling, is that what are you gonna um that's like forceful? What happens when somebody comes and jacks your shit for being loud? What if you're dealing with somebody that's had a head injury and when they get yelled at, they want to fucking kill? What about that? Ever think of that? These people on the internet just doing and saying whatever they want, that's what I'm talking about. Should I be careful on how I talk to you? I think I should. Just out of respect, you know. The thing is, I don't feel the need to prove my dominance by raising my voice. If I have to go there, it's not going to be verbally, you know. If I have to feel like that warrior in me is coming out, it's not going to be with my mouth. Not loudly. I mean, I can say, I just slapped somebody down with my words. I don't have to raise my voice. One well placed sentence can take down the biggest monsters, no matter what, even if they're loud, you know? So, but I don't like being yelled at. Go find somebody who deserves that shit. Somebody fucking stupid or something like that, you know? But yeah. Anybody else feel like that? It's like, no, no, you know, that might be free over here, but over there or wherever you are, but it's not free from me. Just cost you a merit, you're fucking demoted in my world, you know. Wow. That's like treating everybody like slaves or like if I get you in a class, say I'm a teacher and I get you in my classroom just to tell you how stupid you are, basically. I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to yell out, it's a history lesson, and I'm going to be screaming it at you because you didn't previously know that. That type of feeling. Or people that are preachers and they scream at people, that just it doesn't set right with me. Now, if you do something stupid or dangerous or are harming people or something, and I raise my voice, it's gonna be a reason for me to raise my voice. I'm just not going to get in a group of people and pretend that everybody is deserving of me belittling them because they don't know something. Or what if they do know something and you're belittling them because you think they don't? Yeah, pretty sure there's plenty of us out here that know a whole lot that this person that was screaming doesn't fucking even have a clue of what to do or how to do it, you know? Should I scream at them about it? Maybe I should. Maybe I should just make you know, it wouldn't it okay, how about a parody video on this person I'm thinking of on the way they act. Maybe that would wake them up. You know, hey, if people deserve to be yelled at, yell at them, but be careful if you think you're yelling at me. But there's still something there. There's still something, I'm not going to say entirely dishonest because I don't know for certain, but there's something being held back. I mean, I know I sense these things and I just know that my feelings are spot on about stuff like this. And I can tell when people are talking, their actions, you know, they speak. They speak to me, you know. As you can tell, I'm a very expressive person, you know. And I did take American Sign Language and whole signing. So, I mean, that's a part of it, you know, kind of integral. And there's a lot of cultures that talking with their hands is a, or, you know, signing is a thing. Like that with the Freemasons or this, it means, and sometimes I'll catch myself doing it because I used to do it to my dad, who was a Grand Master Mason Jesuit priest. So yeah, I know what I'm doing when I do it. Sometimes I do it subconsciously because I'm actually thinking that, you know, and it's not like my intention to actually act upon that, but my thoughts and my mannerisms are connected at that moment, you know. So, but yeah, and then if you know people well, you can get to know like their shady ways, different things they'll do, averting their eyes or hanging their head or trying not to blink, or you know, all the different things that they'll do, or they'll say something shady and then smile right away and try and avert your attention from the untruth that's underneath there, you know, like they'll try and laugh it off, or they'll try and yell it off, you know, whatever it is, there's some kind of dishonesty when these people use these little tactics and tricks to try and um, deceive, you know. When I was a little kid, if I didn't want to lie because I didn't want to, and it was dangerous anyway, I'd just stand there and I wouldn't close my eyes, but I wouldn't look like at my dad would be telling me to tell him the truth. Well, I would eventually, but like I'd just stand there frozen. I wouldn't even talk, you know. Take them a long time sometimes just to get me to open up with whatever stupid thing I had done or whatever, you know. Or if I didn't. Now, if I didn't and I was accused of something, um, I would not talk at all. You couldn't get me to say anything, and I would get beat before I'd open my mouth. I wouldn't. I'd sit there. I wouldn't even cry. My mom was beat me up one time, kicking me too, and it's like across the floor in our basement, and which was a big basement too. So anyway, this thing was beat me and she wanted me to cry. She made the comment like, "You're not even crying," or something. I can't remember what it was, something like that. Of course, keep in mind I'm down on the ground, hurt, and I thought, "I am not going to cry for you." And I'm a lot like that anyway. If I showed my emotions in the past, that was a blessing for people that they didn't appreciate, because when I was growing up, that wasn't really my nature. My nature was more vengeful. It's the way I was raised, combative, you know. So when I had children and I took that time for them to be tender and emotional for them, they didn't appreciate it. Now I'm back to how I was before. You know what? I don't care. You're just another man on this planet that needs to straighten up and fly right, or go away from me, you know? Of course, I mean, people are supposed to grow up and you're supposed to, like when you have children, have a certain amount of emotional maturity to raise your children so they're not animalistic. But it does help if you have two people in the home, a mother and a father, that are both concerned about their emotional welfare. If you have people in your life that are actually teaching your child in an adverse manner than what you'd want them to be, and maybe some of you have gone through this too, that's total witchcraft bullshit. That's generational traumas or conditionings that's been passed on that they hope you're going to pass on to the next generation. So they don't have to feel guilty about not stepping up and rising up or elevating themselves or self-examination. They don't have to do none of that if they can get you to be as dirty as they are. And there's some parents, quite a few actually, I've seen, that aren't pleased because their children excel in areas in emotional stability where they don't. You'll get punished for it. Anybody? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you could have parents that are in political or state um, jobs out in the public eye or whatever it is, and they look just fine on the outside. When they get home, they take their high heels off or whatever it is, um, and put their loungewear on or whatever, and the animal comes out. It's amazing, like how somebody can present themselves in public. Uh, yeah, maybe it's best if people are just out here yelling, then at least we know what their nature is. I don't like being yelled at. I do, however, love yelling. Not a lot, but if I get there, oh, I'll yell. It'll be bad, and I'll say anything at that point. If I get there, I don't care what I say. It'll cut deep. It may not be filthy, and it might be. I don't know at that point, you know. And I don't care at that point either. But I don't go into things thinking I'm just out to demean people who don't know things, or people presume that, or I would presume that you don't know something, so you need to be yelled at because you're fucking stupid, you know? Anyway, I'm just itching my nose. I'm not doing that. Really, I have allergies, and the pollen is starting to come out, so yeah, it's a real thing. mm, where did I see? It was in Palestine. It was 80% of Palestinians are allergic to olive tree pollen. Isn't that interesting? Oh, then it keeps itching. Anyway, yeah, I read a lot of really interesting things on Facebook this morning. A lot of people are politically up in arms about the vast treason in our country. It's just, we're so sick of it. And we don't want investigations. We want trials, you know, real trials. Like last time Trump was running, we're going to lock her up. Yeah, sure. Sure you are, buddy. Your fourth cousin, Hillary, got a picture of them. They're at a party and they're kissing each other, and it's like, yeah, whatever. And people think there's some kind of separation with these people. When's the last time you've been to Mar-a-Lago Resort with Gates and Trump and everybody else? And then they're sitting there doing like Elon and Trump are sitting there doing the YMCA thing, that song. Yeah, dancing to it. I'm like, really? Really? You couldn't pick a better song than that? Why are they just singing to the young men? And why the youth of America? Yeah, liars, all of them. you know. Yeah, I really did just want to speak on that about getting yelled at. I just turned it off. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to ever participate in that type of. You can yell at everybody else. I'm not going to listen to the shit, you know. So I'm glad I don't pay for a fucking class at a professor that's going to yell. Wow. Can you imagine? I'd be so pissed. Paying to get abused? Oh, that'd really fry me out. Yeah, it would. Do you understand? That's another one. No, no, I don't. Explain it 10 more times. Maybe I'll get it then, you know. I think I got it the first time. Do you understand? No, that is a good thing when you are teaching people to ask them if they understand. But can they actually, like, if somebody's doing a video or even a live stream and they ask, do you understand? Can you hear my head rattle, or do I have to type a response in order for you to fuck up after you ask that question? Anyway, I don't know. It just seems, I don't know, assuming everybody's just stupid to begin with. But when people aren't stupid and they're treated like they are, for me, that has a tendency to piss me off. makes me want to make somebody understand. Do you understand? There's different kinds of teachers in the world too. Yeah. There's ones that just grab you and slap the fuck out of you, and there's ones that sit you down and explain things thoroughly. And then there's other ones that just put it out there and then make sure it's pounded into you, just scream it at you, and then ask if you understood. I was understanding until you asked me if I did. It seemed like a tool of regression. A psyop. I don't really trust people that just yell for no reason. If I give you a reason to yell, I'm certainly going to give you a reason, and it's going to be well thought out, and it'll be intentional. And I'll probably let you know ahead of time, most likely. It's like, you got something coming. That's a fact. Just for the deception of the whole thing, because I know I'm being deceived somewhere in there. I just haven't pinpointed it yet. I think I've almost got it. It's like if there were three people and two of them were men and one was a woman and the men sided together, that woman would be alone for her own support system, just like me. I mean, everybody wants to fall back on me, get my opinions, maybe get a little insight of what's happening in the future or, different things. But when I need support system, I've been on my deathbed and nobody gave. Nobody was ever there. I'm serious. In the hospital, all kinds of stuff. It's like, oh, yeah. It's like I told some people I had just had a stroke and broke my arm and some different things. And um, these are people that said they cared about me, they have family. And I found out that they didn't even listen to me when I talked. But because a lot of them had their own health issues and not living in the same state and stuff, maybe, sure, we don't know each other that well, that type of thing. So I can understand them not understanding that I had health issues at the time. But I did tell them, and they still ignored it. But so, I mean, when that happens to you all the time in your life, and everybody's telling you their problems and their sorrows, and who do I go to with my problems and sorrows? Ah, fuck you, woman. you know, that's the attitude I'm getting. Everybody likes that woman when they think about their lives on this planet, but then, yeah, till they find out that moms are not replaceable. But it's not that they don't try. They try to ignore that fact. And they'll try to replace. Yeah, you can't replace an original with a copy. Every time you copy it, the mold for the thing weakens and it's never the same, you know? I'm not saying that all humans aren't precious, don't get me wrong. I'm just talking in the sense of men versus women and um, if some of you are like mothers to sons, if you have sons, you know what I'm talking about like that. And if they're close to their father and not close to you or like very much like their father, maybe charming and charismatic and good looking or whatever traits a person had when you met them that attracted you to them when you were um, not as intelligent as you are now, you know, but you'll find yourself more on the lonesome side, maybe not feeling lonely, but lonesome for a flicker of intelligence and humanity out there. But pretty much if you're um, there's uh there's a spiritual war going on, bottom line, and not a lot of women are in this war. They think they are, but they're not actually being attacked, not from being born till now. You know, it might be kind of a new thing, but I think some of you know what I mean. Maybe you don't. Maybe you've been that warrior your whole life. I don't know. I'm talking about for justice and what is right and standing up for those little X chromosomes, you know. Why is a good question. Do men feel more powerful thinking they have part of a woman in them, or they started out as women and then turned into men when your Y chromosome was in there from the beginning? You know? But if it makes you feel better to idealize yourself as part feminine, well, good for you. Some women like the fact that men recognize what their chromosomes mean. You know, I'm one of them. Like, for all you men that are glad you're not two X chromosomes and know that there's different parts of our bodies and minds and hearts that are not identical to the other gender, good for you. I'll keep you. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I just wanted to talk on that yelling thing and people thinking that everybody is just brain dead. It's like, yeah, I've been battling this for a long time. So, all right, everybody. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.